everyone. Welcome to another episode. I have with me Fabrice from Cloudline. We've been having some fantastic conversations. He's such an interesting and entertaining person. I don't think my podcast will do justice to all the fun adventures he's been on. He is the face of Cloudline, but there's lots more to him. Fabrice, welcome once again. We find founders do the best job of sharing their introduction. So if you would just tell the audience a little bit, that'll be great.
Sure thing. We are a change management and digital transformation consultancy firm. That's a lot of buzzwords in a single sentence. So let me see if I can break it down for our audience. Basically, we help humans adopt technology well in their companies. We're partners to Google, we're partners to Microsoft, and we are partners to Zoho, which has a special place in our heart. So we've existed for going on 7+ years now, Akshay, and we're based out of Montreal. We have a very diverse team, which is our greatest strength. And we've been helping folks from all sorts of different industries make big, bold technical moves and reap good ROI from it.
Fabrice, I know you've done a wide variety of work. I'm going to ask you to take us into one or two stories of work you've done for clients that you think represent what Cloudline does.
Sure thing. It's hard to know where to begin. Whose story do we talk about? Because it's all so varied. I think one dramatic example that might lend itself well from a storytelling perspective is that of Maca Marketing. So Caroline, we say hello to you over there in the team. We've been working with them, and she's been a very visionary, forward-thinking lady in her processes. And she wanted to use Zoho technology. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with Zoho technology, Akshay, but a lot of people that don't know Zoho very well think it's just a CRM. But the truth is that Zoho is much more than a CRM. It has over 50 apps, and it's older than Google. A lot of people don't know that, right? So a lot of people swear that cloud collaboration with multiple cursors on the word processor was invented by Google Docs in 2006. To put it in perspective, Microsoft took 5 years to play catch up. They launched Word O365 in 2011, which 5 years is an eternity in the age of the internet. But what people don't know is that Zoho launched Zoho Writer in 2005. So they are trailblazers. They are pioneers in cloud collaboration. And Caroline of Maca is also a pioneer. She bet big on Zoho, and she was using the CRM and using different things. But the one app that gave her the most power is called Zoho Creator. So Zoho Creator, what makes it special is that it's an app for making other apps. As I like to say, one app to rule them all. So Zoho Creator uses Zoho's proprietary language, Deluge, for making truly powerful things. It'll push away the limits of what the apps have, and it also allows to build apps. It allows to do very exotic integrations that otherwise wouldn't be possible. Anyway, long story short, Caroline was using Zoho Creator. She was working with another consultant who need not be named, but everything was built very robustly, very intricately, very complex. Every single aspect of her operation, from billing to production, you name it. So this thing was very complex. And the thing is, these technologies, once they age, like with any software, you need to refresh it. Any new apps need maintenance. APIs get deprecated. And I'd say that Zoho is very generous with their API deprecation, but a lot of other tech giants just cut off the APIs and lets you sink or swim at short notice. Zoho keeps them alive for a long period of time. So what happened is that eventually those have to go. And Maca Marketing was not really in contact with the previous consultant. So all of a sudden, it's like somebody was in a breaker room, turning off the breakers. One day, one function of the business is not working. Another day, something else collapses. So she was in panic mode. And her words, not mine, actually. She actually told me once, I'd rather have a broken leg than a broken system.
Ouch.
Yeah, a bit dramatic, but it puts it in perspective from her point of view. People were coming to her like, what's going on? This doesn't work. What's happening? She called us, and then we had to do something that no developers ever do, okay? Nobody likes to go into somebody else's code. Nobody, right? So somebody is coding like thousands of lines of text of code and everything, and you get that, and it's not you that built it. You don't even know where to start. You're scratching your head. Most cloud consultants you'll find will not touch that with a 10-foot pole, but somebody had to do it. So we went in there and we analyzed every nook and cranny of her system. And this allowed us to get to know it on the fly while things were going and to patch things up so that they wouldn't break and she could still be functioning. Now, imagine a sinking ship like the Titanic, right? So here we are fixing everything up so the thing doesn't sink. And in parallel to that, we're making a new modern system on the side. So to put into perspective, she was using Creator C2, and then we started building Creator C5 on the side. Right? Today we have C6. It just rolled out not long ago. But anyway, So we were doing this and she didn't believe we could do it. And she told us straight up, I don't think you can do it, but your only hope, Caroline, give us a chance. And truth be told, everything was functioning. We were able to stop the ship from fully sinking while she was able to use it. And then we did the migration over the weekend and we pulled everything and everyone over from the sinking ship to the brand new, modern, re-engineered, improved ship with zero disruption and zero downtime. So these are the stories that make us feel really good. And we can help make a difference in her life and in the life of all her employees. At the end of the day, when we're able to do something like that, it matters for our clients. And this is what helps us have long-term relationships.
Wow, I love that, Fabrice. I think you live an interesting life, so the stories are much more fun.
Thank you.
If I may, Fabrice, is there a slightly different kind of story? Because I know that you do a lot of work in the world of Zoho. Is there another one that you think maybe, because I know you have diversity and I want to showcase a little bit of that?
Okay, I'll tell you another story, but it might not be the sort of story that you might be thinking that I was going to tell you. Actually, you might be expecting some sort of a hard-hitting case study, success story. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go off the beaten path to your beautiful country, way down south, right? For those of you that are not familiar with India, there is a place called Kanyakumari, which has the statue of Tiruvalvar, and that's part of Tamil Nadu, but it's basically, you go any further south, you're in the water. Right. So near there, not far from there, there's a place called Nagarkoil. And it turns out that two of my employees at the time graduated from College of Engineering Nagarkoil, USEN, which is part of Anna Universities. So I was blessed to have the opportunity to meet the university where two of my staff members went to. Right. So we went to their university and we thought to ourselves, how nice would it be to come around full circle? Right. I used to be a teacher. So even though you've taken me out of the classroom, you've never quite taken the classroom out of me. So connecting with people that are teaching and being in these sort of environments where young people are growing and blossoming is something that I find very special. Long story short, here I was in April, hot, right? April over there in Nagarkoil, and I was speaking there. And it felt so special to see these wonderful employees of mine now coming back to their alma mater, wearing their uniform, and they're proud and they're happy and they're standing there. And it felt very good as part of my address to bring them on stage and really congratulate the university on the fine job that they're doing, producing talent. I remember Raja telling me that those people in that university, they planted a seed inside of him and they made him want to develop himself. And then in his words, he says that now he's a young tree and he wanted to go back to his university to plant that seed in the other students. Young people, sometimes they don't realize how many opportunities they truly have. And we get used to the day-by-day routine and everything, but we don't realize that we don't necessarily have to go out into the world to get the opportunities. We can have the world come to us.
I think it's a fantastic story. And I think you hinted at how widely traveled you are and all the amazing life experience you have. I want to move to a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. I think you've been at this for a while. And before this, you've been doing other interesting things. But if you look at the last, let's say, 5 or 6 years, what do you think are the one or two lessons that stand out?
I think we all make mistakes earlier in our business ventures. We all start with the best intentions. But like the saying says, that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So while we might mean, we often shoot ourselves in the foot. I think not just me, but a lot of consultants, they make the mistake as they're starting up that they can never afford to say, the customer is always right. We have to walk on eggshells and give everything. They say jump, we ask how high. So while part of us feels that this is the right thing to do from a service perspective, in a way, we're hurting the customer. And we're actually going against what we should be doing. As consultants, it's our job to tell the customer what they need. They might come to us with what they want, but we will have to tell them what they need. And it might not always be something that they'd like to hear. So I think it takes time and maturity, and it takes a few bruises along the way before you figure out that sometimes you have to show some tough love. And that is what's going to yield things in the long term. And your customer will end up thanking you for it in the long term. And sometimes it's better to just not engage. So when you're trying to do things out of your comfort zone, it's good because it helps you grow. But once you go too far out of your comfort zone, you might be putting yourself in territory that's not where you should be. When we're dealing with cloud computing and systems in the cloud, it's all so non-tangible. It all moves so fast. And there's so many things that are coming out all the time, every day. So in a way, it's like we have to put on those things that they put on the horses. You have to put on those little blinder things to keep you going on the right direction. Otherwise, you're like a kid in a candy store. Oh, look, this came out, that came out. And you're running around, and then where are you really getting to? So it's important to have that focus and to trust your gut and to not forget that at the end of the day, all the technology in the world is meaningless if we neglect the human aspect of it. You have to take into consideration the human part of the equation. Otherwise, things flop. And 75% of CRM implementations flop, right? This is a statistic, not Cloudline statistic, but this is a statistic in the industry that very often when businesses want to do these big sweeping changes, things collapse. And that is largely due to the human factor not being prepared for such a change.
I love it. I love the fact that you've tied in this one articulation entrepreneurial learning, a customer-oriented learning, a perspective on the industry as well. And I think those three came together really interestingly. When you look at where Cloudline is going, you guys have been around for a while. Can you tell us a little bit about where you see it going? What are your core focuses for the next 18, 24 months or whatever time frame makes sense?
2023 is going to be a huge year for Cloudline. Now, there's a lot of stuff that's in the oven right now, up the sleeve, under the hat, wherever you want to call it. There's a lot of things that I haven't been putting out there, but since you asked the question, I'm going to go ahead and reveal a little bit there. We have big plans for launching our own products. Somebody said out there that every product company wants to be a service company and every service company wants to be a product company, but this is not something that should be gone into casually. It's something that requires a lot of reflection. So I believe that now the quality and size of our team allows us to have that bandwidth. Now that we know the market a little bit better and we're dealing with more and more sophisticated deals, we feel that the time has come for us to launch our own products. So keep an eye open for that. We're going to be launching things on the Zoho marketplace. We're going to come up with native third-party integrations to very interesting industries. So yes, we're finally beginning to target certain verticals. And this is advice that, people who mentored me always gave me, like, Fabrice, find your vertical, find your niche, find your vertical, find your niche. And the truth is we haven't really. We've worked with all sorts of folks, manufacturers, service, big, small, Fortune 500, you name it. But finally, I think that this new focus that we have is going to allow us to do that. What else can I tell you about 2023 that's coming out that's going to be different? Marketing. This is the first podcast that I do. Actually, no, it's not true. I did one with Zoho, right? It's the second one that I ever do in 7 years. We don't do any marketing, actually. We did one event in 2016. Was it? No, 2017, I believe it was. It's a long time ago. We haven't really done anything since. We participated in one trade show, which was a spectacular failure in Las Vegas. It was called the Embedded Technology Convention. That was a bit of a wake-up call, but at least we did good team building with the team while we were there. But we've never really done marketing. Our website is shameful. At the date of this recording, we are working on it and we are going to finally launch it. But the truth is, this will be the year when marketing begins to happen for Cloudline. We're waiting, sharpening our tools, being prepared for the moment where we could just open that valve and open those floodgates. And you're going to be seeing video testimonials. In fact, that one from Maca Marketing, the Caroline story. Yeah, we're going to be showing that on video. We've actually filmed it already, and we're going to be releasing that. We're going to be showing 2 other case studies, vis-a-vis AIM Insurance. So we really want the world to get to know us, let them know the Cloudline is open for business. And I'll continue to travel to India, spend time with the team, grow the team, and got to keep improving, got to keep getting better.
What I'm hearing you say is that as you look to the future, you're seeing the journey from services to products, which is not a simple journey at all. It takes tremendous courage and competence, right? The marketing going along with it and building the team. I think real love for life, a real love for people, I think it comes through in every conversation. And it only makes the fact that you know what you're doing so much more easier to understand. I'm not an engineer and I've been able to follow everything you've been telling because you bring the human aspect to the journey. Right. So on behalf of the team, I want to say a real thank you.
Thank you. This was a pleasure for me as well.